It's November the 9th, about 8:30. It's a mild November morning. It's about 12 degrees, I think, so pretty good. Sitting in the shed on the allotment. I've had the allotment now since August 22nd, so that's 10 weeks, give or take, with change. So I thought I'd actually relax a bit and give you my top 5 tips for when you start an allotment. They're in no set order except for one. One is key above all the others, I believe, personally. Now, these are my 5 top tips. Doesn't mean to say they're any better than anybody else's. There are some great YouTubers out there with a lot more experience than I have, but while my first 10 weeks are still fresh, here are my top 5 tips to help you start your allotment in no particular order. Tip number 1 has nothing to do with cups of tea. Cheers. Tip number 1 is be realistic. Know your limitations. Understand what's ahead of you, and then match your capabilities and commitment to what would be needed. Now, I've managed to, got my eye on that door, it's getting breezy and I don't want it to smacking over. What? I told you it was getting breezy. Stay there, will you? Look, if you don't want to listen to these, just go, alright? Don't take the camera with you, okay? Yeah, so understand your capabilities, be realistic. One of the more established YouTubers has the expression, do a little and do it often. Unfortunately, I can't support that. You have to do as much as is needed, otherwise you'll find it pretty pointless. You'll be spending far more energy fighting fires than you will on fire prevention. What do I mean by that? Even now in November, there's still plenty to do on the allotment, yet there's hardly anybody down here at any time. And these people have had their allotments a long time, they understand, or some of them have had exactly what to do and when, and that's fine by them. But a lot of people are not so regular, and come the new year, there'll be more plots given up because people will walk down, it'll be overgrown, and they'll be starting as if, like I did, starting the whole plot again. If you cannot commit to doing what is necessary, then you'd be better off with other options, such as turning a part of your garden, if you have one, into a grow your own area, growing vegetables in pots around your patio, which is perfectly acceptable and reasonable. The other thing is, it's all great. You go out, you plant all your seeds and your potatoes, seed potatoes, and your onion sets and everything like that, and then you maintain it, keep the weeds at bay, and you get masses of crops. What are you going to do with them? I mean, I'm doing this and I have a plan. And that plan will be, I'm living on my own, and this is quite a large allotment, and there's no way that I have enough freezer space for everything for me. How big's your freezer? How empty is it at the moment? How much can you fit in there? Can you fit in like 20 bags of vegetables? Because everything comes at once. All your green beans will want picking and slicing, unless you leave them out to dry, and then you take them off. What are you going to do with your beans then? You're going to leave them in jars, which isn't recommended, because they're going to have insects in. You need to keep them frozen. What about all the foods and soups and tomatoes? Are you just going to eat a few, let the rest go, try to give them away? So understand what you're aiming for. So be realistic about how you're going to actually achieve your goals. Okay, second tip I can give is set goals. Have an idea of what you want to do immediately, every day when you walk down, over the next few weeks and months, and long term. I mean, I'm about to sit down and plan what I want to grow for next year, and I'm going to look around on the internet to see where the best seeds are. I'm going to look over YouTube to get an idea of what people plant. I'm going to talk to the local allotment holders about what they grow at what time of year, because everywhere in the UK has a different microclimate. I mean, we are what we call zone 9, but the most of the UK, apart from the south coast, is zone 8, and as you get further north, the zones get, I believe they get lower, 7s, 6, 5s, 4s, and I think this is an American thing, where you know, you have like it helps people with, you know, oh, if you're in zone 9 you should be planting now, in a terrible American accent. Embarrassed. Yeah, so we're in zone 9 because we have like a very warm micro culture here, but other people will have zone 8s, be cooler, and that means basically your frosts will come sooner and they'll last longer. I mean, our first frost technically on average is mid-December, and our last frost is actually mid-February around here. I mean, that's very mild compared to London, which could be like mid-May to early November. Or the other way around. Yeah, so have goals, and if you don't make them, at least have an alternative one. And there's all the thing about SMART goals: specific, S. M is measurable. How would you know if you've achieved it? A, achievable. Is it actually achievable? You know, I want to grow melons, and you're in like the Arctic, or you don't have a greenhouse. It's not achievable. Understand, you know, what you can do and what you can't do. Realistic, you know, is having a crop of 5,000 potatoes, you know, like realistic. What would you do with them all? You know, it's all very well putting like half of your allotment of potatoes, but when you start digging them up, what are you going to do with them all? Where are you going to store them? Are you going to ever eat them all? Can you give them away? And timed, and know when you want to achieve it by. SMART. We've done 2 of the important things. Now, what's the third? Have broad shoulders and grow a pair. That's sexist, I know, but you know what I mean. It's gonna be tough. There are gonna be a lot of disappointments, and not everything is going to go well. You will spend money on things that you'll never use. I'm going to pour another tea. You will plant things that will never grow. or they will grow but they won't produce fruit. And some days you will come down and a fox, a badger, a cat, in my particular instance it's pigeons, rats, mice, anything, caterpillars, tons of different nature's things would have destroyed your little hard work, all your hard work in some cases, and you will need broad shoulders in order to get over it. It will be soul destroying some days, and you'll go home upset, close to tears, and you'll wonder, is it all worth it? And the thing to do, of course, is the next day just come down and get on with it. Don't worry around it. It is all worth it, and there will be setbacks, there will be issues, and you just have to get over it in whatever way you can. I just enjoy coming down here, and even if I came down here and everything had been eaten, or the wind had blown everything over, or whatever, I'd still come down here because it's the journey. So that's number 3. Be broad-shouldered, be prepared for disasters. They will happen. So what's the 4th tip, the most important thing that I can pass on? As soon as you possibly can, grow something. Get something in the ground that you can call a crop that you planted. In my case, I was donated lots of stuff when I first started coming down. I was donated some kale, which is beautifully growing now and has become a staple diet of my family's guinea pigs, even though we're estranged. This door's blown backwards and forwards, so I've got my eye on it. The guinea pigs still need food. I was given leeks, I was given beetroots and spinach, little seedlings. So I've got all of those in, and I'd never had to pay a penny. Since then I've put in green manures, I've put in overwintering crops. Even though I started in August and it took until like September late August, and it took until September before I had the soil ready, and I didn't really have anything put by. I started sowing seedlings and beans and things straight away. Get something grown as soon as you can, because it's such a sense of achievement and really satisfying to have things that are growing. As one of the dog walkers that walk past regularly, we all talk often about the pond and the path. And the path, oh, the path! I'm so happy about the path. That's another story. So get something growing. It's important to you. It's why you're here. If you've got nothing growing, then you're missing an opportunity not only to grow something, but to actually feel good about something. And that is such a buzz. It really is. Tip number 4, get something growing as soon as you possibly can. The number 1 tip I can offer, get my hair straight for this, drum roll, The number one tip I can offer: talk to as many people on the allotment site, all passers-by, all neighbours to the allotments as you possibly can. Make friends, get yourself known. Now, I suffer from mental health issues, social anxiety disorders. I use escapism too much. I can't deal with real life. I don't like confrontation. And I have Asperger's, undiagnosed adult Asperger's, which means that I don't really get on well with people because I don't understand what they're saying half the time, why they're saying it. I never recognise people's emotions or reasons, and I'm too self-centered about my own. So I'm not a good person, I guess. All of those things make it difficult for me to get to know people, make friends. But there are people on this site, and some of the neighbours, the dog walkers. Now I've got a bit of a different situation here because of what I've done to the pond, all dug out on a local footpath, making it wider for pedestrians, which has then led the county council, the district council, to come in and do maintenance on the entire path, making it safer. It's got me known, but that's an exception, you know. But it just shows that getting to know people is very important. Why is it so important? Well, first of all, it really helps with some of my issues, is that talking to people and getting to know them, and them getting to know me has helped me in that respect. Tangibly, I can't even say how much it's helped me, and this is evident. You know, I've been donated other things, a wheelbarrow, lots of plants from other allotment holders who, you know, just enjoying what I'm doing with the pond and what I've done with the allotment. I've been given rhubarb, you know, the runners from people's raspberries, and a lot of these were offered. I never actually asked for them. People would come over and say, "Can I give you things?" Lots more, some stepping stones for around the pond, a big bag of leaves to make leaf mulch. People have offered me cuttings of herbs and lavenders, pallets. And of course I've been offered all of these other growing plants, the kale, the beetroot, the leeks, the spinach, the strawberry plants. All of these have been donated by other plant holders. And other things that you haven't seen is that people have turned and said, "Do you want these beans? Oh, here's a pumpkin. I've had 3 pumpkins given me." You know, my freezer is full of pumpkins. And I've made pumpkin curry. You know, it's a very simple recipe, but it's so filling and tasty, and you know, the main ingredients, pumpkins, have been free. You know, so I'm absolutely overjoyed. And I've got so much now for next year. Somebody gave me a seed head off a leek. Had a seed head given me off a shallot. I've been given rhubarb seeds, flower seeds of different, you know, flowers, poppies and everything else for around the pond. Beans, tons of beans, so I can save money and not have to buy them next year. Yeah, it's been absolutely incredible the amount of things that I've actually been given for free just by working hard on the allotment. So, non-tangible, friends, company, a laugh, you know, encouragement, advice. Tangible things to eat, seeds, tools, sheds, wheelbarrows. I can borrow what I want from one site, you know, from one plant, you know, like seeds, brooms, tools. You know, there's so many things around that I can make use of now. Make friends, get to know people. There isn't a bigger or better tip that I can give you. It's made all the difference to me. I hope all of these tips will encourage you to go out and do well and achieve your goals. It's a wonderful, wonderful thing having an allotment. Enjoy.